Hey, how's everyone doing today? I want to talk about driving errors. I want to wish you a good afternoon. Blessed to be here. The energy has been great today. We've had a lot of questions, so I want to touch on discussing driving errors today and help you be successful. Hey, how are you doing? SLK Fun, how you doing? We're talking about driving errors today, and I do have a video that is being uploaded that talks about driving on dangerous roads. So we're going to talk about driving errors today. Want to wish you a good afternoon. If you don't mind, SLK, what state, what part of the world are you from? Could you kind of let me know? Um, Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay, and give me a like. So let's get right into it. I want to wish you a good afternoon. I'm going to try to get on every day at 1 o'clock. Also, Friday, I'm going to do a Zoom, right? We're going to get up to 100 people in. So I will do a Zoom. I'll be posting a link within the next 24 hours in a community um, post. And then you will have a Zoom. Hey, Michigan, that's what's up, right? Um, can you hear me okay with the music in the background? I'm trying to get something chilled here. Okay, so let's get right into it. Driving errors. When you're not looking around, checking. If, example, you make a right-hand turn and you don't look back to the left. You make a right turn, you look left, then you look right, but you don't look back. A car just pulled up. That is the driving error. Thank you. Will you be getting on the Zoom with me too? If I post that link, I'm just trying to get a little survey here. I'm trying to build value, right? And I want to get to know all of you, really show you. Oh yeah, that's great. That's awesome. I can't wait. Um, you got to check your mirrors. If you don't check your mirrors, you're going to miss what's behind you, what is around you, and you're going to end up maybe making a lane change and cut off someone to the right or someone to the left. And if you hit your brakes, let's pretend a deer comes out. Um, then if you hit the brakes real hard and someone's not paying attention, they're going to rear-end you. You know, we know how it is in Michigan with deer, right? This is that deer season. That's for real. Um, you got to have rapid eye movement. Uh, I'm a video gamer also too, but I also teach driver's ed. So you always have to look around to see who's around you. Is someone to the front? Is someone to the left? Is someone to the right? And the good thing that this platform has done, this has made me a better instructor, a better teacher. When I teach my classes, I'm a better driver in the car. So I want to bring value, right? I want to make it excellent for you, excellent for the next person. I'm training the next generation. So Michigan lefts, I had a lot of requests for that. So on your road test, we all know if you're in the inside lane of the J turn or Michigan left, you stay in that inside lane. If you're in the far part of the J, you stay to the far lane. Young lady at Tim Hortons, trying to put in a plug. Young lady from Tim Hortons mentioned that to me. She said, hey, Mr. Miles, I failed my road test 3 times. And I'm saying to myself, wow. But she turned in the wrong lane. If you cut off a lane of traffic, that is a driving error. So I really try to teach my students those fundamentals. Double right turns. If you're in the inside lane, you stay in the inside lane nearest to the curb. If you're in the second lane and it's a double right turn, you stay in that second lane. So it varies from state to state. But again, if you're making that Michigan left or that J turn, if you're in the inside lane, you stay in the inside lane and continue on by the inside lane. If you're on the outside lane, you stay on the outside lane. Good question. Let's keep going. If you have to hit something hard, you want to hit. If you have to hit something, you want to hit something soft. You never want to hit a hard object, right? Your car has crumple zones. Those crumple zones. Let's use my phone as an example. The crumple zones are in the passenger side front. Let's pretend this is the car. This is the driver's side. This is the passenger side. This is the driver's side rear. Driver's side rear. you want to make sure you hit for something soft, right? SLK Fun. What age group are you in? Are you under 20? Are you 20 and over? Just trying to build some demographics, right? Um, so let's keep going. If you have to hit something hard, also I want to give a shout out. Okay, that's good. You're gonna get so much knowledge. Um, it's just gonna go through the roof, right? Because the more information you get, the better you'll become, right? And as I learn more on this platform, the better it's going to be. When we do that Zoom Friday, it's going to be at 7 o'clock. I'll investigate tonight. I'll get that link up, and then however many people come in, we come in and get a chance to know me more one-on-one. I can talk to you one-on-one because I'm a very social person. And once people know that about me, the engagement is just gonna be incredible. Yes, I'm talking to my laptop, I got my ring light on, but you know what? I'm trying to give you the information you need to be successful. SLK, feel free to reach out to some other people. Tell them, hey, Driving with Miles, we're online. Shout it out. Get people in because we're building that community. Yes, it's all about relationship, right? And when you know someone, you know you're getting good value. I'm a better instructor because of this social media, right? I'm examining things better. So if I examine things better, you're going to be the recipient of really good content, of really good knowledge, right? Next, um, a lot of beginning drivers keep tapping their brakes and tapping their brakes and tapping their brakes. If you've seen my YouTube videos, I hope you've seen some of the content. I keep a lot of space. The more space you have between yourself and other vehicles, the better you will be. So you got to keep that space. And the more space you have, the safer you'll be. A lot of beginning drivers tailgate other cars. And if you tailgate other cars in Michigan, in a lot of states, if you rear end someone, you're at fault. So you want to keep it's one car length for every 10 miles an hour. Um, there are some good driving games out there, and I'll get into that in a little bit because by heart I am a gamer too. But that'll be another video, another session. And if I had my ideal driver's education class, every kid would have a laptop. You have your phone. We could hook it up to a server. I would set up the course. You would drive with your phone, and then whoever would win would get a score, maybe Cash App, some food. I do Kahoot, I do Quizlet because I'm a school teacher, and people respond to that very favorably. So some other good fun things will be coming. Feel free to ask me questions. I want you to feel like you're here with me and you are here with me, right? That's the important thing. So ask those questions because the more you learn now, the better you'll be when you're 14 and a half, when you're 15, when you're 16, when you're 17. It takes up to 10 years to learn how to drive, right? And really gain that knowledge. Let's keep it going. A lot of beginning drivers lack pace, meaning their speed control. If the speed limit is 55, you might drive 45, you're 10 under, or you might drive 65, you're 10 over. So it takes practice. Usually, when the light turns green, beginning drivers are really slow at pushing the gas, and the traffic just leaves them. So I try to tell my students pick up your speed a little bit, try to stay with the flow, try to take your time, and usually around the end of the first or the beginning of the second drive, they have pretty good speed control. That does take time. And same thing on expressway when you're merging on. You're very hesitant, you're very cautious, but as time goes on, you're going to pick up your speed, and then you're going to be more consistent with your speed. And that comes with practice. If you have anxiety, sometimes going on off-peak hours, after rush hour in the morning, or in the evening, or on the weekends are really chill drives too. So you always want to identify the proper time to drive. If you drive during rush hour, you're going to get tailgated. You're going to get cut off because people are thinking about other things besides driving, and it's really a defensive mindset. But you should always be defensive. Let's keep going to these tips. Speed over the railroad tracks. You have to look left, right, and left before you go over the railroad tracks because There are some railroad crossings in the United States, they don't have gates. And you just have to look, you have to listen and be a safe driver. You can't beat the train, right? Um, SLK was asking, are you on a mobile device? Are you on a tablet? Um, are you on a desktop? Just trying to figure out, where you're at with the process. A lot of beginning drivers kind of slam the brakes too hard because you don't understand timing. iPhone, yep. A lot of people uh, have a difficult time learning how to stop because you wait too long to stop and then you almost hit a car, and that gives us all a kind of a baby heart attack in the car. And then you look at your instructor and your instructor looks at you like, slow down. But you don't know how to slow down because you didn't you didn't you haven't learned how to have proper braking distance. So just like in the neighborhood, so the example I gave in the neighborhood was, I take kids in the neighborhood sometime and you learn how to, maybe 5 houses from the corner, 7 houses, you start applying your brakes, because once you learn proper stopping distance, then that will be even more successful, right? I mix it up. We go into neighborhoods, we go in downtown areas, we go in cities, we go on really curvy roads, hilly roads. I always try to mix up that driving environment to give you a wide variety of driving experiences. I make it fun. If your instructor is just taking you on straight roads, you're not really learning. You want to be on a mixture of roads. Okay. So that's super important. A distracted driver. A lot of times drivers can be, yeah, dirt roads. And in my dangerous uh, road video that I just uploaded, dirt roads are very challenging. When I first started, we got stuck in mud. When I first started teaching drivers here, they had rained for a week. We were on a dirt road. I had 3 big football players in there. I was fresh out of college playing football myself. So there was some weight in the car. Um, and we went to the edge of the road, and you know what happened? Boom, we went right in the mud. And I said to myself, uh-oh. And I told my students, I'm not getting my shoes dirty. Uh, we have to get out. So I stepped out. I couldn't take my shoes off because I would have been in the mud. So I stepped out and got on the edge of the road, and we could almost pull the car up and get it onto the edge. So that was my first experience with dirt roads. And that's a good story that I always tell my students. Don't drive to the edge of the road because you will sink in that mud, right? Yeah, it can be fun, but I'm not a four-wheeling guy. I'm a straight line guy. Uh, but it really, I get a little tense on those dirt roads, right? Let's keep it real with you. So that's what it's all about. A lot of beginning drivers stare at the speedometer too much, right? You want to keep your eyes on the road, just like I'm looking. If I was playing a video game, you see my eyes constantly moving. Where's someone there? There's someone up there. There's someone there. You always have to keep your eyes moving, anticipating animals, deers, cars, someone coming out really slow, someone coming out really fast. Yesterday we were driving and someone in a Prius just pulls right out in front of us. Nothing against the Prius. And they kind of stopped in the middle of the road. We were driving at 50 miles an hour and they just pulled out. And then they went 3 houses and then they pulled into the driveway. So I said to myself and my student, this is kind of interesting. So you always have to have that defensive mindset, not getting angry, but just staying chilled and anticipating things popping out, right? Let's keep going. I talked about eye movement, seeing the big picture. A lot of beginning drivers stop unnecessarily. If you had a chance to follow a student driver in a student driving car, they always hit the brakes, hit the brakes, hit the brakes, hit the brakes. So I try to have my students develop a good feel for the braking gas, and also beginning drivers will mix up the braking gas. So that's always kind of nervous and a little scary for the beginning driver as well as the instructor. So you want to make sure you're pivoting your right foot between the gas and the brake. I have had some requests to drive with a manual. I will do a video on that, and that'll be pretty interesting. So if you can, SLK, fun. You get a chance to drive with the manual. That's okay, fun. Do you know how to drive a manual, a stick shift? If you do, give me a thumbs up if you don't. But you need to learn how, because 90% of the cars in the United States are automatic. The other 10%, and there's still some around, are manual. You need to learn how, if possible. One of my students, her grandfather basically gave her a truck, right? And she got a free truck. It was a used little, beat up car, but it's free. She learned in one day in the parking lot how to drive a manual. So you always need to be prepared. Never say no to something that someone's going to give you in your family. Just needs a battery or some tires or a little tune up. You need to be humble and just say, hey, thank you. I got this car. Let me learn how to drive it. Okay, my first vehicle was a manual, was a Volkswagen, right? Used to work at a YMCA in high school, and one of the members had a Volkswagen. And he said, sure, you can borrow it. I had no idea what I was getting into. I thought it was easy. I kept stalling the vehicle out at the lights, and I went to pick up my cousin and just stall. What an experience! But I learned, so I can look back at that and say I learned how to drive a manual by just stalling the car out and hearts pounding, cars are honking the horn, and I'm starting it up again. But it's timing between the brake and gas and the clutch, right? Let me keep going here. And one of the areas on speed control is improper clutch. There's some areas of the world, all they have is manual. So you got to learn how to get that clutch and gas right, shift those gears correctly. So that is super important. Let's keep going. You don't make a full stop. A lot of beginning drivers, and on your DMV test or road test, they roll stop signs. And that is failure. That is dangerous. Downtown areas, especially. I take my students to downtown areas. We make 4 right-hand turns. I want to see hand over hand in, hand over hand out. Good smooth braking. We make 4 left-hand turns all the way around, right? So that's going to give you really consistency in your turns. And once I see that consistency, we go in and do some parallel parking, some stall parking, angle parking. I really try to hit those fundamentals early on and drive 1, drive 2, drive 3. Everyone's a little bit different, but I get you comfortable with the car. You have to be comfortable with the car that you drive. Let's keep going. A lot of beginning drivers are shifting when they're on the railroad tracks. You're talking about a manual here, and if you shift in the wrong gear, the car will stall out, right? Or if you go over the tracks and you kind of lift your foot. A lot of beginning drivers, how many feet do you have before? So how many feet do you have to stop before the light? I'm saying it looks like about 8. I would say 5 to 8 feet, because you have the big white line, that's the stop line. You have the front end of the car. I'm going to say within 5 to 8 feet. You don't want the car into the crosswalk. You want to have the front end of the car behind that stop line. And we're all pedestrians, and you want to have room to walk across. So I'm saying 5 to 8 feet, because I know most cars are anywhere from 3 feet to 5 feet from that front bumper on up. That's giving you a close estimation. That was a good question, but you want to make sure, and a lot of beginning drivers, and that was a very good question, a lot of beginning drivers stop too late in the front end is in the crosswalk, and you'll lose points on the road test, or they're way back. So that first drive is about getting comfortable with the vehicle, connecting with your instructor, and us talking like this, and we get connected with the instructor, and you learn more. So the more you learn, the better driver you become. So those things are super important. Connecting with that driver, getting comfortable, and then building that relationship, right? So let's keep going here. We talked about checking the speedometer too much. You want to keep your eyes on the road, because a lot of drivers are so concerned about their speed control. You're literally drifting off the road to the left or drifting off the road to the right. So you want to aim high and look ahead. Let's keep going. I want to talk about canceling the turn signal. A lot of beginning drivers wait too late to turn on the blinker. And if we're following behind you and you wait too long to turn on the blinker, we're literally going to run into you. So that's a driving error. Same time, if you put it on a mile, just give you an example, a mile before you turn onto a street, that's too long. So it's all timing, 100 feet or half a block. This allows most drivers to see that blinker on for the first blink. The second blink, okay, I need to start slowing down. The third blink, you're slowing down, you're covering your brake, you look left and right, and then you make that turn and accelerate out. So timing for beginning drivers is important. And if you don't practice a lot, or your parents don't have time, you just won't have the necessary skills just to pass that DMV test, that road test, because you're going to have a little bit of anxiety, right? Let me keep going here. Um, let's talk about poor lane tracking, meaning you make your right turn into the nearest lane to the curb, but then the car veers to the left because you're looking to the left, or it almost goes over the curb because you're looking to the curb. You literally have to look down the street and get that balance and estimate where your traffic is, right? If you feel this is a value, give me a thumbs up. It's really important. I want to keep going. So we talked about poor lane tracking. You fail to move to the right. You want to turn into the nearest lane and accelerate. And then you want to check your rear mirror because traffic is coming. You never want to just pull in front of oncoming traffic, because if you pull in front of oncoming traffic, that's the driving error. Number two, they're going to keep driving right on top of you. So you want to have good space. Now, see, we got 4 or 5 people in. Ask questions. Please go ahead and do that. Give it a thumbs up if you find this of value. I will be putting up a Zoom link. And today is Thursday, so Friday at 7 o'clock, you're going to see a Zoom link up on my YouTube channel, Driving with Miles. And we're going to do a Zoom. You're going to get a chance to know me more one-on-one. I'm going to get a chance to know you. And then this can be uploaded into YouTube, because if you set it up before the 31st, I was reading, get a pro account. We're going to go ahead and just build that relationship and talk to all of you, right? So let's keep going. You don't de-excel on the expressway. Getting off of the ramp, a cloverleaf, which is a really steep, sharp curve, you've got to learn to de-excel, reduce your speed, because if you go to the edge of the road, centrifugal force will pull you off the edge. And the title of this today is Driving Errors, right? I'm gonna spend about 5 more minutes talking, then we're gonna wrap it up, and then I'll go to the other platform, right? So you have to learn to de-excel. On your DMV test or road test, your tester will be sitting there with their clipboard. They'll have their rubric, and they're going to be checking off de-excel. Did the driver go slow, too fast? Did they overturn? If you come in smoothly, that's good. If you come in too fast, the rear of the car is rotating outward, you're going to lose points. And if you cross over that yellow line, you'll lose points. So you really have to go slow before you get into the cloverleaf, because you're going to have those chevron alignment signs there to tell you, whoa, this is a sharp curve. So you got to be able to read those signs and apply that information to help you. Let's keep going. You turn into the incorrect lane. If you're in the inside lane and you cut over 2 lanes or 3 lanes, you're going to cut off a car. That is a driving error. And if you have a driving error, you will lose points. You could potentially create an accident, cut off a car. That is really common for beginning drivers. So we want to prepare you. When I say we, I mean professionals such as myself, state certified instructors in the industry, to prepare you for that opportunity, right? To do well. You always want to have good spacing. And I mentioned a gap. So let's pretend we're getting ready to turn out of a gas station. We have to make a right turn. Cars are going by 30, 40, 50 miles an hour, and you pull out in front of a car. That is a bad gap. You're going to end up getting rear-ended. You're going to end up getting hit. So a lot of beginning drivers have difficult times judging that space. If you're taking a DMV test or road test, you're going to be nervous. You're going to be anxious. You never want to pull out in front of oncoming traffic. It is extremely dangerous, and it's unhealthy for both the instructor and you. So you want to look for a big gap, 4 cars, 5 cars. 3.5, and know your own ability. So I watch my students, and that's one area that they struggle in. So I really try to help them and have them judge the distance to the left. Okay. So we talked about turning incorrect lane, your signal. Some beginning drivers turn wide and they make a wide right turn. I do appreciate you. Have a great day. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up in a couple minutes. Thank you, SLK Fund. We'll post that link to the Zoom. It'll be tomorrow at 7 o'clock. So I hope to see you there. Let your friends know. I appreciate you, and give it a thumbs up, please. So, overall, we went over some of the driving errors. I would say some of the top 5 errors that you're going to make on your DMV test or road test. One is not checking your mirrors and blind spots. 2, potentially not knowing the rules of the right of way. The first car to get there is the first car to leave. 2 cars come together at the same time. The car on the right. This is the car on the right. They have the right of way. I would say 3, overspeed. You're going too fast, and you're not within the safe speed limit, right? I would also say not understanding the pavement markings, regulatory signs, warning signs, and guide signs, right? They give you a lot of good information. And the last one, I think, is just having anxiety, not being really prepared for the situation. You have to be prepared for the situation. You have to be successful. And once you're prepared and successful and comfortable, right, you will be fine. And let's kind of go ahead and wrap this up. I really appreciate all of you today tuning in. I'm going to go live every day at 1, give you information. I will be posting a Zoom link. I'm planning on doing a Zoom tomorrow. I will be the host. I'll post the link. You put in your name. We'll get you into the Zoom meeting, and then we can meet one-on-one, talk, and then we'll post this back up to YouTube. It's been a blessed opportunity to talk to you. This is Driving with Miles. I'm a state certified instructor. I teach driver's education for over 21 years. I teach teens and adults. So all this content you're getting is what I do every day. And I'm adding value, and, I'm blessed. Thanks for the thumbs up. And other questions you have, feel free to post them. I do respond to all comments. And I want to say I love you and appreciate you, and have a blessed day. Thank you so much.